I used to believe love had a geometry. Clean lines, strong joints, nothing ornamental, everything intentional. My name is Miles Clark, and by 28, my life finally made sense. I woke up early. I paid bills before they were due. I owned furniture that didn't wobble. I planned not because I was afraid, but because planning felt like respect for the future. Then Verity stepped into it. I met her at a winter charity book drive. She was arguing with a volunteer about whether dog-eared pages counted as loved or damaged. When she laughed, something in me loosened, like a knot I didn't know I carried. Her red scarf kept slipping, and I kept handing it back. That was our first rhythm. "You're very prepared," she teased on our third date, watching me check a reservation time. "I like being on time," I said. She smiled. "I like that you care." That sentence became oxygen. Verity didn't just date me, she absorbed me into her world. Her mother, Elaine, texted me photos of dinner experiments and asked my opinion like it mattered. Her father, Thomas, handed me tools in his garage and said, "You got steady hands, son." Sunday dinners turned sacred. Laughter settled into routine. I'd never felt so quietly chosen. By October, I stopped pretending I didn't know. The ring cost more than my first car. Platinum, oval cut. I hid it beneath folded winter sweaters she never wore. Sometimes, late at night, I opened the drawer just to remind myself it was real, that we were real. I planned Christmas like a vow, a rare poetry edition Elaine once mentioned, a vintage watch kit for Thomas, dessert timed perfectly, then the question. One night, Verity leaned against me on the couch and whispered, "You make me feel safe." I kissed her hair and thought, good, that means I'm doing this right. I didn't know then that safety can scare people who mistake chaos for freedom. The night I finalized the proposal plan, I slept peacefully, unaware that forever was already slipping out of alignment. December didn't arrive all at once. It crept in. It sounded like Verity's phone vibrating during dinner, like pauses where laughter used to land, like the way she said a name too casually, Gabrielle, as if repetition could bleach meaning from it. "He's just an old chapter," she said one night, sliding her phone face down. "He's back in town for a bit." I nodded. I trusted her. Trust, I believed, was part of loving well. But the air shifted. She stopped asking about plans. When I mentioned Christmas dinner, she said, "We'll see," like the future had become a burden. I watched her drift while standing inches from me, and for the first time, planning couldn't fix what intuition already knew. 3 days before Christmas, I was wrapping gifts on my living room floor, labels neat, ribbon cut evenly, when the door clicked open. Verity didn't take off her coat. "We need to talk," she said. Those words have weight. They sink before they land. "I can't bring you to Christmas," she continued. "Gabrielle's coming instead." The room tilted. The ribbon slipped from my hands. "I don't understand," I said. "I thought." "You planned everything, Miles," she interrupted, voice tight. "It makes me feel trapped, like my whole life is already decided. Because I wanted a future." My voice cracked despite me. She looked away. "With Gabrielle, it's spontaneous. I feel free. I can breathe." I stood slowly. The gifts on the table suddenly felt ridiculous. Proof of love turned evidence of guilt. "So I'm uninvited," I said. "From your Christmas, from your life." She didn't answer. Silence chose for her. I gathered the presents meant for her parents and placed them carefully by the door. "They don't deserve to lose Christmas," I said. As I stepped outside, cold air burned my lungs. Behind me was a house full of plans. Ahead, nothing but the sound of my own heartbeat breaking its rhythm. She chose a man who arrived late and left early over the one who had already built a place for her to stay. Christmas morning arrived without ceremony. No alarm, no anticipation. Just pale winter light slipping through my cousin Craig's blinds like it was afraid to wake me. I lay on his couch staring at the ceiling, listening to the quiet hum of a house that wasn't mine and a holiday that had forgotten me. Craig slid a mug into my hand without asking. "Coffee, black, strong." "You don't have to talk," he said, "but I'm here if you do." That kindness nearly broke me. We spent the day doing nothing on purpose. Bad movies, leftover pizza, the deliberate refusal to pretend everything was fine. I laughed once, surprised by the sound of it. It felt borrowed. Then my phone vibrated. Not once, not twice, again and again. I didn't look at it until my chest felt too tight to ignore. Elaine, Miles, we are heartbroken. We don't understand her choice. Thomas, those gifts, son, they meant more than you know. You'll always be welcome here. My vision blurred. I pressed my thumb to my eye like I could hold the tears back through pressure alone. I couldn't. Then her name appeared. Verity. I think I made a mistake. Craig watched my face change. Her? I nodded. Are you going to answer? I stared at the screen. I turned off my phone. No, I said, not today. Later, I learned Gabriel left town just as casually as he'd arrived. No plans, no promises, just an echo. Verity's messages came softer after that. Sadder, too late. That night, alone again, I stepped outside into the cold. Snow fell quietly, covering footprints as if erasing evidence. I realized then Christmas had abandoned me. She had. Sometimes the hardest part of heartbreak isn't being left. It's realizing you were the only one who stayed. Nadia entered my life quietly. No dramatic music, no lightning strike, just the steady rhythm of hooves against frozen ground. I had signed up for horse riding lessons because my therapist said I needed motion without purpose. Something to keep my mind from circling the same memories. The stable smelled of hay and cold air. I was early as always. You're punctual, a woman's voice said behind me. Warm, observant. I turned. Nadia stood there in riding boots, helmet tucked under her arm, eyes calm and curious. Habit, I replied. She smiled. Good habit. That was it. No fireworks. Just ease. Over the next weeks, we spoke between lessons, about discipline, about patience, about how planning wasn't fear but care. She never flinched when I spoke about structure. She admired it. You don't rush things, she told me once, tightening a saddle strap. That tells me you stay. Something in my chest loosened. By the time winter parties returned, Nadia wasn't a distraction anymore. She was real. That's when the past resurfaced. The first time I saw Verity again was at a holiday party. Music loud, lights warm, laughter earned. I felt her before I noticed her, a tightening at the base of my neck, a memory misfiring. She stood by the drinks table, smaller than I remembered, eyes searching the room like she lost something she expected to find. She approached with a careful smile. Miles, you look well. I am, I said, because it was true. Nadia stood beside me, steady as a heartbeat. Verity's eyes flicked to her, then back to me like denial trying to rewrite reality. I've been thinking about us, Verity said, lowering her voice. About what we planned. That was a long time ago, I replied. I've moved on. Her smile cracked. Already? Nadia stepped forward, gentle and unafraid. He plans beautifully, she said, warm pride in her voice. It makes people feel chosen. Verity stared, something dark passing through her face. She said nothing more that night, but the silence didn't last. Messages followed, unknown numbers, notes left on my windshield. She appeared outside my office once, then twice, standing across the street watching. Nadia tried to be brave. I saw the fear she hid. One night, there were flowers on my porch. White, a note, some love doesn't die. That was the night we stopped pretending it was harmless. I filed for a restraining order after she showed up drunk, pounding on my door, pooped in front of the door, swore, crying that I'd ruined everything by being happy without her. The police took her away in handcuffs as she screamed my name into the dark and imposed a huge fine on her. The quiet afterward was heavy, but clean. I held Nadia's hand and understood something at last. Love that refuses to let go isn't devotion. It's trespassing. Some people don't miss you. They miss the power they lost when you stopped choosing them. I proposed to Nadia on a quiet morning, sunlight spilling through the stable doors where we first met. No audience, no pressure, just the two of us, dust motes dancing in the air. I want to build a life with you, I said, voice trembling, not from fear, but from hope. Her hands shook as she nodded. Then let's make it ours, she whispered, tears in her eyes. That day, I realized something vital. Happiness isn't rescued from the past. It's crafted in the present. Months later, at a winter party, Verity appeared once more. She tried words, apologies, nostalgia, but I stayed calm. Some things I said softly. Don't come back. We only move forward. Nadia squeezed my hand, grounding me. I watched Verity retreat, understanding finally that her chaos wasn't mine to fix. Life with Nadia was deliberate, joyful, messy in all the right ways. We restored an old motorcycle together, spent our first vacation together renovating our house, and found comfort in stability. Planning became love, not confinement. Sometimes the best revenge isn't confrontation. It's living a life they can't touch, a life they'll never understand. Standing in the golden glow of our home, I whispered to Nadia, "We survived the past, and now we get forever." She smiled, and I knew it was true. The life that stayed, the one worth fighting for, was finally ours. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.